Hello everyone and welcome to Newton TV. Today we're diving into a crucial topic for all healthcare professionals, fluid and electrolyte imbalances. Get ready to study smart with us. Let's start with the basics. Did you know that approximately 60% of the human body is water? This water is distributed into intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid, and interstitial fluid, each playing a vital role in maintaining homeostasis. Here's a visual representation of how these fluids are distributed. Intracellular fluid, or ICF, is inside the cells. Extracellular fluid, or ECF, is primarily in the blood vessels, and interstitial fluid, or ISF, surrounds the cells, acting as a bridge between the ICF and ECF. Before we proceed, let's define some key terms. Hydrostatic pressure is the force of fluid in the bloodstream, while osmotic pressure is created by solutes in a solution. Oncotic pressure, a type of osmotic pressure, is specifically due to albumin in the blood. Osmolality and osmolarity refer to the concentration of solutes in a solution. Hydrostatic and osmotic pressures work in opposition to regulate fluid movement. Hydrostatic pressure pushes fluid out of the capillaries, while osmotic pressure, largely due to albumin, pulls fluid back in. This balance is crucial for maintaining proper fluid distribution. Oncotic pressure specifically is the pressure exerted by proteins, mainly albumin, in the blood vessels. It's a critical force that prevents fluid from leaking out of the capillaries into the interstitial space. Now, let's talk about tonicity. Tonicity refers to the concentration of solutes in a solution compared to the bloodstream. Isotonic solutions like 0.9% NaCl and lactated ringers have the same tonicity as blood and don't cause fluid shifts. Hypotonic solutions have fewer particles than blood, causing fluid to shift from the ECF into the ICF. Hypertonic solutions, on the other hand, have more particles than blood, pulling water from the ICF into the ECF. Understanding this is key to administering IV fluids safely. Starling's law explains the movement of fluid across capillary beds. It's the result of the opposing forces of hydrostatic and osmotic pressure. Alterations in these forces can lead to edema. Fluid homeostasis is maintained by two key components, osmoreceptors and ADH. Osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus detect changes in plasma concentration and trigger thirst and ADH release. ADH then stimulates the kidneys to reabsorb more water. The renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAAS, is a crucial hormonal system that regulates blood pressure and fluid balance. It's activated by hypertension, hypovolemia, and low cardiac output. Let's break down the RAAS system. Decreased blood pressure triggers the release of renin, which initiates a cascade of events leading to the production of angiotensin II and aldosterone. These hormones ultimately increase sodium and water reabsorption, raising blood pressure and volume. Natriuretic peptides, such as ANP, BNP, and CNP, promote natriuresis, which is the excretion of large amounts of sodium and water. These peptides are released in response to increased blood volume and act to lower blood pressure. Edema is defined as an excess of fluid in the ISF and ICF compartments. It can be caused by a variety of factors, including elevated hydrostatic pressure, decreased osmotic forces, alterations in capillary permeability, and sodium retention. There are different types of edema. Dependent edema typically occurs in the lower extremities due to gravity, while pitting edema is characterized by an indentation that persists after pressure is applied. Third spacing refers to fluid accumulation in body cavities that are normally free of fluids, such as the pleural space. This fluid can be either transudate, a serous filtrate of blood, or exudate, which contains blood, lymph, proteins, and inflammatory cells. Fluid volume overload, or hypervolemia is an excessive amount of water in the bloodstream. A common cause is heart failure, which leads to RAAS activation and fluid retention. Cues include ascites, crackles in the lungs, dyspnea, edema, and weight gain. Dehydration or hypovolemia is a state of diminished water volume in the body. This causes fluid to shift from inside the cells, leading to cellular dehydration. The body responds with thirst, ADH release, vasoconstriction, and RAAS activation. Causes of dehydration include reduced fluid intake, reduced ADH, burns, fever, and osmotic diuresis. Cues include dark urine, dry mucous membranes, poor skin turgor, thirst, and weight loss. This diagram illustrates the physiological responses to dehydration. The body activates multiple pathways, including stimulation of osmoreceptors, baroreceptors, and the RAAS system, to restore fluid balance. When assessing fluid status, it's important to monitor daily weight, 24-hour intake and output, vital signs, and assess mucous membranes, skin turgor, urine output, and edema. Now, let's move on to electrolyte imbalances. For proper cell functioning, serum electrolytes must be kept within a narrow range. Sodium, potassium, and calcium are particularly important for neurotransmission, muscular contraction, and cardiac rhythm. The sodium-potassium pump is essential for maintaining electrolyte balance. It actively transports sodium ions out of the cell and potassium ions into the cell, using ATP as energy. Hyponatremia is defined as serum sodium less than 135 μQL. It can be caused by hypovolemia, excess water, or conditions like SIADH. Treatment involves slow replacement of sodium with adequate fluid. Hypovolemic hyponatremia occurs when there's excess water, diluting the sodium concentration. This can be caused by SIADH. If serum osmolality falls, water moves into cells, causing swelling, which can be dangerous for brain cells. Hypernatremia is defined as serum sodium greater than 145 μQL. It can occur with excess sodium or a decrease in body water. Cells become dehydrated and shrink, leading to CNS manifestations. Treatment involves fixing the underlying cause. ATP is the energy currency of the cell, powering various processes like synthesis, muscle movement, and transport. Potassium is crucial for muscle contraction, cardiac rhythms, ATP synthesis, and neuronal signaling. Hypokalemia is defined as blood potassium concentration less than 3.5 μQL. Diuretic therapy is the most common cause. Other causes include burns, vomiting, diarrhea, and large amounts of IV dextrose. Cues for hypokalemia include anorexia, cardiac arrhythmias, leg cramps, and ECG changes. Treatment involves replacing potassium at an acceptable rate, as rapid infusion can cause cardiac arrest. Hyperkalemia is defined as serum potassium greater than 5.2 μQL. Decreased renal perfusion can lead to potassium retention. Severe hyperkalemia requires rapid treatment to move potassium from the ECF to the ICF. Calcium is essential for bones, teeth, blood clotting, and neuromuscular signaling. PTH and calcitonin regulate calcium levels. Calcium and phosphate have an inverse relationship. Serum albumin levels are used to interpret calcium levels. Hypocalcemia is defined as calcium levels less than 8.7 mg/dL, while hypercalcemia is defined as calcium levels greater than 10 mg/dL. Both conditions can cause a range of symptoms, including neuromuscular excitability, cardiac arrhythmias, and bone pain. Here are two classic signs of hypocalcemia: Chvostek's sign and Trousseau's sign. These are important physical exam findings to recognize. Hypophosphatemia is defined as blood phosphate levels less than 2.55 mg/dL, while hyperphosphatemia is defined as blood phosphate levels greater than 4.5 mg/dl. Kidney failure is the most common cause of hyperphosphatemia. Hypomagnesemia is defined as blood magnesium levels less than 1.5 mql, while hypermagnesemia is defined as blood magnesium levels greater than 2.5 mql. Magnesium is primarily stored in bone and is important for various physiological processes. Thank you for watching this Newton TV presentation on fluid and electrolyte imbalances. Please subscribe, like, and share to support our channel and help us create more educational content. Study smart.